Hey, this is This Eye This. And I know you haven't heard me in a while, but lots of things have happened. Mainly, a certain somebody on my Skype keeps telling me, the actual facts that PCs are selling more than consoles. And I know I'm a little late on saying this, but this has to be said. When you look at console sales and PC sales, Mac sales, and that includes Macs and all the other. In fact, they're all computers. Um, of course, their sales are going to be higher than that of consoles, no matter what you do. And people who bring this up are bringing up something really fucking stupid. And the main reason why I bring this up is that they're dumbasses because they don't understand that PCs, and the reason why they sell so much is that, first of all, tell me how many games they have sold compared to the consoles. And unfortunately, the consoles win. And the reason why the consoles win is because the consoles were made for gaming. Why the PCs, when you look at the keyboard, wasn't technically invented with gaming in mind when it was invented. When computers first came out, the first thing they thought to themselves was, "Oh, I got to build a gaming rig right now because and this keyboard is a perfect gaming rig because first of all, keyboards came off of something called a typewriter. You know that ancient device that was invented years before the computer was. In fact, half the fucking key, the arrangements of the letters and all this came from a typewriter. In fact, half the buttons, shift and certain other buttons, came from a typewriter. Why? And the mouse wasn't even invented for gaming purposes. Why is the PC selling more? Well, because PCs do other things. They write documents, they browse the fucking internet, they do your work for you. And these are main critical reasons why most families buy PCs and other type of computers. For operating systems and checking their emails. Yes, you can do all this on your console nowadays, most of these people prefer to use their PCs for this, even when it comes to looking at YouTube videos or even uploading YouTube videos. Yes, you could do it on your console, but it's just more better on a PC on these areas. As for gaming, consoles win this department. See, PCs are practical for business use and other types of use, and consoles is just more practical for gaming use. Yeah, their graphics aren't as great as the latest graphics card that came out for your PC, but who gives a flying fuck? Those games don't sell very well, and the reason why those graphic cards go up in power is because it's called a business. And in any business, you make something more powerful than the previous generation. And, or, either ranging from 10 times more powerful to 2 times more powerful to just 5 times. That's just the way these businesses work. And then when the future comes to switch for to get brand new consoles, guess what? You get a brand new fucking graphics processor with it. And you get better graphics out of your console because it came from a PC. PCs are good for experimenting, they're good for businesses use, they're good for accountants, they're good for browsing and all this other stuff. It's just not all that well good for PCs for gaming because they weren't initially built for gaming. They were built to do other stuff. Say corporation stuff, business stuff. Writers write books on these computers now, even though that some use tablets for some god awful reason. Artists, so forth. Experimenting for newer and better hardware are done on computers. There is a ton of other features that computers have, and this is why computers sell more. and computer hardware sells more than consoles because of those practical uses. But consoles will always sell more games because its main use is a fucking gaming device. If none of you can understand this fact, then you are a brick wall that have made yourself so thick and dense that you literally won't listen to any kind of reasoning. And just like computers, when they get better in technology, consoles get better in technology. That's why we have multiplayer on consoles now, as well as voice chat and headsets for your console since the last gen. Gaming is not about having the highest resolution and the best graphics on your goddamn fucking screen. Because then it becomes a pissing contest between two people talking about their fucking PC and one's saying to the other, well, my dick's bigger than your dick. That's just the way this is. Console advancements happen, PC advancements happen, and there's these things called corporations that use these computers, as well as practical people who use these computers for more practical purposes. And, of course, gamers get gaming consoles to game. That is what the point of creating a console. Sony forgot this when they created the PlayStation 3 and tried to sell consoles to basically these developing people, and then realized that they didn't even want those the PlayStation 3s. It was pretty fucking stupid. And now Microsoft seems to think that consoles are made for TV, within TV, on a TV, through a TV, of a TV. And of course, they try to stick DRM in there. Which just goes into my other little argument, like listening to Black Bond's moronic fucking videos. Oh God, Black Bond, you literally make a man just want to take a tack hammer to his own skull every time you talk. Listen, I know Black Bond ain't gonna listen to this video because he's too stupid and he's too set on his way. Because Black Bond ignores actual living people who say certain things, like actual shit that makes sense. And of course, Black Bond's only answer is, well, the reason why the Xbox One is failing is because it's less graphically power. And that is it. No one else is going to tell me otherwise because I ain't going to listen to them, or I'll just block them. It's basically what you call being a stubborn dumbass. You know why the Xbox One ain't selling and why PlayStation 4 beat it yet again? Because Sony, even if they were going to go with that DRM, they didn't show it at that E3. And first impressions usually go. It was that DRM mainly that did the damage. This is why even after they cut the price on their Kinect, it still isn't getting enough sales. It's not because of the graphics. It's because Microsoft got up there on stage, talked about television, and held out both fingers and told their fucking gamers, their main core audience for Xbox, and basically told them all to fuck themselves. They might as well have been a whole montage of just every Microsoft employee getting up there and saying, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off gamers, fuck off, fuck you gamers, fuck you gamers. That's why Microsoft's sales are so fucking low. It's not because they have a less powerful console, even though that did somewhat help. It's because they're fucking got so arrogant and so full of themselves, and then they just kept pushing for it, and then they kept coming up with this nonsense after nonsense of just coming up with idiotic and dumbass business decisions. And the other reason, and this is also the most important reason, Microsoft only has 2 exclusives coming out, while Nintendo Wii U and fucking PlayStation 4 have a ton of exclusives coming out. But, you know, adding with only 2 exclusives, a bunch of sore people, even though they fixed the DRM shit and did nothing but apologize about it, there are still people that are sore about it, that are angry and pissed off that Microsoft did this. Of course, there are other people that are just, like myself, who are just angry at Microsoft in general for other stupid shit they've done in the past. And then there's this, you know, that interview that happened with I mean, I got nothing against the guy, but Angry Joe, which he basically got that one guy with Major Nelson. And of course, Major Nelson saying, well, it's not a switch. We can't flip it. And guess what? They flipped the switch right there. And then he started just bowing down and kissing ass. Microsoft's pretty fucked at this point. They've just done one bad decision after another, after another, and after another. And they're firing tons of employees because of these bad decisions. Also because they bought Nikio or whatever, which was a bad decision. Mainly because Microsoft's Windows phones are still dead last place in the phone markets and the smartphone areas. Let's face it, iOS and Android have both won. Mainly Android's the one ahead, and iOS is second place, but they have both together have collectively kicked Windows Phone into oblivion. And them buying Nikio didn't help the market, mainly because Nikio did nothing but kiss Microsoft's ass before Microsoft bought them out, and then Microsoft finally bought them out, and now they've got this disaster corporation that they're going to have to liquidate and just get rid of. And of course, the Microsoft Entertainment Studios went bye-bye. Yeah, everybody's talking about that. Not really surprising that that happened. Mainly because they were making a whole bunch of TV shows, and they were going to do a whole bunch of these things. And guess what? Most of them have been canned. Of course, they're going to do probably everything they can to keep the Halo series going, but I don't think it's going to happen anymore. If it does, good for them. But it'll just be like the Halo other series that nobody really gave a shit about. Look, if you want a streaming box, get a streaming box. If you want a fucking gaming console, get a gaming console. But don't try to sit there and merge two devices that nobody gives a shit about, and then try to force a gaming console down people who were just down old people who, only want streaming devices. This is the same mistake that PlayStation 3 made years ago, because they tried to force those PlayStation 3s for a while. They even tried forcing them down web developers' throats. And that failed miserably. It didn't work. Of course, we got a bullshit show showing up on fucking PlayStation 4 nobody gives a flying fuck about. I mean, I know what the show is because I'm a comic fan and I know about powers, but whoop-de-fucking diddly-doo-dah. So, Xbox ain't dying because they got up there and have a lesser powerful machine. They're dying because A, they pissed off their customers, B, didn't grow a fucking set of balls on them, and C, literally told their main customer supplies to go fuck themselves. And there are still people that are hurt about that. They just don't want to be around Microsoft because of what they did. I even had this one video that had this song that I found off the internet, basically illustrating the exact points of what Microsoft said. I mean, this is how arrogant they got. With Xbox One, you can game offline up to 24 on your primary console for 1 hour if you are logged in on a separate console access to a library. Offline gaming is not possible after these primary units are reestablished until you can reestablish a connection. But you can still watch, and this is the kicker, you could still watch live TV and enjoy Blu-ray and DVD movies. That's how self-centered they got. That was off of my little video on which I had literally posted that little last paragraph. That is probably what most likely destroyed Microsoft. That was arrogance at its most finest fucking hour. I think I got a link of that picture somewhere else, but if I could find it, I'll put a link down below. You can all read how arrogant Microsoft has gotten and how full of themselves that they have made themselves, and how they destroyed their own market base with their own sense of, it's not our fault, it's gamers, it's our customers' fault. They're the ones that are not doing what we want them to do. And, actually sitting there, and then when I read that last line that you could still watch live TV and enjoy DVD and Blu-ray movies, man, I mean, I've never liked Microsoft, but even that made me just feel a sense of dread right there. Just outright, just I couldn't believe Microsoft even published that and then actually thought that they could push that out there. But here's the thing that most people don't understand. They didn't announce that whole DRM thing at E3. That whole DRM thing was announced shortly after E3, behind everybody's back after they did their E3 conference. Now it's all just one big clusterfuck. I don't know. I mean, it's going to take a while for that hatred and meanness, or that's just hatred of what Microsoft left behind, to dissipate. I'm probably going to take 2 or 3 years, but I don't know if Microsoft's going to survive, or Xbox will. So I seriously have no prediction on this, but I don't know if I actually feel sorry for Microsoft, because there's a part of me that says, fuck you, Microsoft. Fuck you for even trying it. Hell, I wasn't ever going to buy an Xbox One in the first place, but still, fuck you, Microsoft. You should have never even tried it, or typed that shit out, or allowed that one guy to talk about fucking submarines. Well, I'm done with this rant. See you later.